You step in that ring, you're either gonna break or you're gonna form into something amazing.
Before Ryan Garcia would knock out Olympic gold medalist Luke Campbell with the hardest body shot he has ever been hit with and win the biggest fight of his life.
He did. I told you, once he felt that shot, he wasn't gonna want to fight, and that's what happened.
Before Ryan Garcia would announce that his dream fight would be versus Manny Pacquiao by the end of 2021.
This is my dream. I'm just gonna tell you guys my dream. I end up getting a chance to fight Manny Pacquiao before he gets to go, just because he's one of my idols.
Before Ryan Garcia would be ranked as the world's 4th best active lightweight by ESPN, a 15-time national champion as an amateur, a pro with a 21-0 record and 18 KOs, and be recognized as the future of boxing. Before Ryan Garcia would have 8 million followers on Instagram, over 3 million followers on TikTok, over 497,000 followers on Twitter, and 765,000 subscribers on YouTube at the time of this recording. In his most recent fight, Ryan Garcia proved to be more than a viral social media superstar, with boy band good looks and YouTube collabs with the likes of Jake Paul, Dixie D'Amelio, Addison Rae, and Lele Pons. He is a full-on fighter with a vicious left hook and definitely the one the world is watching. He began training at just 7 years old and knew from then that boxing wasn't just a fleeting interest. This was life and this was going to be long-term. His love for the sport grew the older he got, and it brought him to the monumental moments that we're witnessing today. So how did Ryan Garcia gain his fame? Well, keep watching. What's up, guys? It's your girl Azalea Hart, back with another video here for you on Before They Were Famous. This time taking a look at the WBC interim lightweight champion, Ryan Garcia. We've taken deep dives into the lives of other athletes and boxers like LeBron or Jake Paul, so check out the suggested videos after you watch this one and comment down below on who you're interested in seeing in the next video. Follow us on Instagram at Before They Were Famous, and feel free to follow me too at Azalea Zoe. But for now, let's get into his story.
Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom!
Ryan Garcia was born on August 8th, 1998 and grew up in Victorville, California to Mexican parents Henry and Lisa Garcia, who have both been very actively involved in his career from the beginning. His father is still one of his trainers, and his mother works as his personal administrative assistant. I absolutely love that. Keep it in the family. Before getting involved in their son's amateur and professional boxing careers, Mr. and Mrs. Garcia worked for the government. He has 3 sisters, Demi, Sasha, and Kayla, and a brother, Sean Garcia, who's also a professional boxer. Ryan started his journey to becoming the boxer he is today in 2005 at the tender age of 7. He was playing baseball, and although he was pretty good at it, he didn't like the way his team was playing and didn't think they were doing what they needed to do in order for them to win. Now, that experience at that age turned him off from team sports altogether, so he began setting his sights on sports that were one-on-one.
My brother, he basically gave Ryan his foundation. Him and I boxed, and he was like the root of boxing.
That's where it all started.
He turned to his uncle Sergio and asked if he could find a sport that was just all on him to win, and his uncle showed him a video of someone boxing. So he decided, hey, I'm gonna try that. Then and there, they went out into the garage, his uncle strapped him up with some gloves, and he was in love from the first jab.
I wasn't really scared. I didn't really like confrontation as a kid, but for some reason, boxing, I just had no fear.
From there, he knew boxing was going to be long-term. At only 7 years old, he had just been kicked out of the High Desert Boxing Club for not being upfront about his age. 8 years old was the minimum age to fight at the time, so instead, his uncle Sergio took the reins and trained him in his garage. That was life for 2 months before Ryan's dad, Henry, built his own gym in his garage and took the training over. Henry did everything he could to make their dreams come true, but it wasn't without a pep talk first.
My dad, he made sure I knew that. And he told me, either you're gonna be the best at this or you're not gonna do it at all. Because there's no point of getting your head knocked in if you don't, get something out.
The family had hit some financial struggles due to the economy crash in 2005, but that didn't stop them from doing whatever they could for their children's futures.
There was days where we didn't really eat. We just had to live paycheck to paycheck. I know that my family did their best for me not to really see all that, and we just kind of focused on boxing.
When the market crashed, Henry lost his job, and at the time, things looked really dark, but got even darker when someone knocked on their door and told Henry that they had just bought his house and that they were going to give him $3,000 for the keys, and that was that.
that person knocked on my door and just shattered my whole life from that point. And that's when things started going downhill.
From there, the family moved to Victorville. Lisa Garcia was the one bringing in the money at the time, and it was all on older sister Demi to watch and pretty much raise her brothers. There were even some days that Ryan would go to Walmart and say he had a fight coming up and needed donations in order to eat. Even if he didn't have a fight, he just needed the food.
I think about those times as a kid. Are you gonna eat? What are we gonna eat? What's there to eat? You don't know if you're gonna be able to get out of that situation.
Anyway, Henry would drive his sons Ryan and Sean to tournaments up and down the coast where they would often crash with friends or sleep in the beat-up van on pillows and blankets purchased from Walgreens that Henry would later return the next morning. For longer trips, Henry would take the family Fiat because it was better on gas mileage, and for bigger trips, their mom Lisa would join too. One winning tournament for both boys happened in Toledo. It was 30 hours away, so they managed to buy a car to make that trip. It got them there and back, but the engine blew by the time they made it home, but because the boys won, it was all worth it. Now this is around the time when both parents, Henry and Lisa, became certified referees and judges, which allowed them to work at the competitions and save on further expenses.
I know as a mother what my son does for a living. I know how dangerous it is. I just pray every time, not just for Ryan, but for both boxers, that when they get out of that ring, that they're safe and they get to go home to their families.
His dad said he knew he was special around 8 years old when he had his third amateur bout, and he saw the hunger and drive in him. And from that point, he kept developing.
It's like he just kept this motivation going. And I was like, wait a minute, this boy just doesn't stop.
That fight, though, at 8 years old, that first one, he lost. The second fight, Ryan won, but because his opponent kept losing his mouthpiece, they turned that win into a loss. For his third fight, he got Outstanding Boxer, Bout of the Night, and a huge trophy. Henry wasn't only training his boys, he was also training Ryan's best friend at the time, Lawrence the Dog King, who was his middleweight. Now Henry, he was mentored by his brother, Sergio. Henry followed in his brother's footsteps to become a boxer, but he told nyfights.com that he stopped when he learned it took more than just guts and courage to follow through. But Sergio, he boxed until he got married. Their fight night routines consisted of simply relaxing and staying focused on their fight plan. Henry would put on worship music for his boys as they were getting ready for showdown, which put them in the right frame of mind to execute when it was time. On what drives Ryan Garcia, his dad told nyfights.com, motivation drives him. Also, better opposition does the same. His passion comes from within, and gaining experience helps. Big venues and better opponents will bring the best out of him. In his amateur career, as I mentioned earlier, Ryan became a 15-time national champion. He then began his professional career on June 9th, 2016 in a fight versus Edgar Metza that he won with a TKO in the first round before signing to Golden Boy, founded by Oscar De La Hoya, in November of 2016. And then he made his Golden Boy debut on December 17th, 2016, which he also won by knockout in the second round. Ryan extended his contract with Golden Boy to a new 5-year deal in September of 2019 and went on to face off with Romero Duno that same month at MGM Grand Garden Arena. He defeated Duno with a first-round knockout and received the WBC Silver Lightweight title. In February of 2020, he faced Francisco Fonseca in Anaheim and knocked him out in the first round. Which leads us to Ryan snatching the interim WBC lightweight title in the biggest fight of his career, facing Luke Campbell, Olympic gold medalist, after knocking him out in round 7. As for the rest of his story, Ryan has big plans for his future.
I want to retire when I'm 26. I just want to fight the best fighters now and beat them in their prime, and then just leave the sport and then become a movie director.
I think this is a good place to end this video because I've already gone way beyond before he was famous. What did you think of Ryan's story? Comment down below and let me know, and be sure to follow us on Instagram at Before They're Famous to vote on who's next. Feel free to follow me too at Azalea Zoe, and take a look at some of the other videos that we did that are going to be suggested right after this, and I'll see you in the next video.
Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Now we drop a new video each and every day, so here's a recent drop that you might enjoy. We handpicked that one for you because if you like this video, you'll probably like that. We also got playlists like over here, so click on that if you want to see a whole list of a bunch of videos we've dropped in the past. And if you're new to the Fame Gang, be sure to subscribe and turn on them post notifications, and I'll see you guys in another video. Boom!